And welcome, sports fans, to today's roundtable. Glad you joined us as we're making the transition to spring sports here in high school athletics in southeast Missouri and northeast Arkansas. And we're looking forward to a little bit of better weather. It's been a little cool, starting to transition to the warmer weather this week. We've had a few patches of warm weather, but it's kind of been covered up by the cloudiness, gloominess, and even some rain in the past week. So certainly it's always a challenge getting these spring contests in with the spring weather, the beginning of spring weather with the rain and gloominess. But it looks like we're going to have a nice weather forecast for this next week for all the spring contests. And we're going to have some of those contests to touch on here in just a moment that took place over the last few days, as well as starting to wrap up the winter sports season, especially basketball. A lot of the all-conference teams and also all-state teams have been released this past week, and we're going to touch on those for the winter sports season as well. And first of all, let's take a look at some games that took place over the last few days. In high school baseball, it was Woodland over Chaffee, 8-2. Woodland getting the victory over Chaffee yesterday. And also Meadow Heights over Advance in a close one, 2-1. New Madrid County Central over Scott City, 16-3. Big win for the New Madrid County Central Eagles. Also Bernie over Neelyville, 10-0. Poplar Bluff over Jonesboro, Arkansas, 2-0. Also Poplar Bluff defeated Marion, Arkansas, and that was Thursday, and that was a 1-0 score from Thursday. And taking a look at high school softball for the girls yesterday, Leopold put it on Zalma, 21-1. Also Holcomb over Zenith Hornersville, big 12-2 down in the Voodoo Conference. Also Advance over Meadow Heights, 10-1. And in boys high school tennis, Dexter got the victory over Poplar Bluff, 7-2. And those are your results from yesterday throughout the area in southeast Missouri. And you had quite a bit of rain Thursday, knocked a lot of games out, and probably knocked out quite a few more from yesterday. And hopefully we'll have a better forecast, which it seems to be, for this next week. And we're going to take a break and be back with more coming up.
Deposit your check here or here or even there. Deposit your check wherever you are with First Midwest Bank's new mobile deposit. Just tap, snap, deposit. It's that simple. New mobile deposit from First Midwest Bank, serving the communities we call home.
Always on the go? Take the best in TV entertainment with you with New Wave to Go. Now you can enjoy your home television service everywhere, anytime on your laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Watch your favorite channels and sporting events live via the internet. Even access your home DVR to enjoy your recorded shows and movies or to set up future recordings. Prices start at just $12.99 a month. So call us today and ask about New Wave to Go. Another innovative service brought to you by New Wave, your local communications experts.
And welcome back for your Sports Roundtable for today. And now taking a look at some all-state teams for boys basketball. They're released from the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association. And taking a look at Class 5, Blake Reynolds securing an all-state bid from Class 5, a senior from Jackson. And also Blake was the SEMO Conference Player of the Year this year from Jackson. So a great year by Blake Reynolds. Going to be heading off to Yale next year to play college basketball at the next level in the Ivy League. So certainly a great year for Blake Reynolds from Jackson. In Class 4, Quinn Poitras from Notre Dame, senior from Notre Dame, getting All-State honors for Class 4, and a great year for Notre Dame and Quinn Poitras as Notre Dame went out to the state Final Four in Columbia, securing third place in Class 4 this season. And in Class 3, Willie Jemerson, senior of New Madrid County Central, securing All-State honors for Class 3, and also Class 3 Player of the Year. Big year for Willie Jemerson, securing Player of the Year in Class 3, and probably the sectional game against Charleston went a long way to securing that Player of the Year honor, scoring 53 points in that game here in Dexter in that Class 3 sectional against Charleston, one of the most memorable games from this season, and probably certainly in the past handful of years in state tournament play. Willie Jemerson securing Class 3 Player of the Year. And also in Class 3 All-State, Delfinko Bogan, senior of Charleston. And Delfinko had a great high school career. He's been starting, I believe, for 3 years there at Charleston, and he's going to move on to play at Jacksonville State in the Ohio Valley Conference going forward. So Delfinko Bogan completing a great year and career at Charleston as All-State honors once again this season. In Class 2, Jeffrey Porter securing All-State honors, junior from Scott County Central, and also securing the Player of the Year for Class 2. And Jeffrey Porter had a great season, and only who knows what's in store for his senior campaign next year with the level that he played at this year. And it's going to be fun to watch him in his senior year next year. And, of course, Scott County Central winning that Class 2 state championship this season. Also from Scott County Central and All-State, Javante Daniel, senior of Scott County. And there's 2 All-State players from the Scott County Central Braves this year. And also in Class 2, senior of Bernie, Caleb Ellenberg. Caleb Ellenberg securing All-State honors from Class 2. And what a year he's had, a career he's had there at Bernie. He was, of course, part of that really good JV team from a couple years ago from Bernie that was probably one of the top JV teams in the area. And, of course, last year and this year showed why he was one of the best players in the state among the small schools in the state of Missouri. And last year he got bit by the injury bug late in the year in the Stoddard County Conference Tournament, hurt his ankle and was out for the rest of the year. And Bernie fell short in the district tournament because of that. But it was up in the state tournament. They actually fell short, and it was a tough way to end the year for Bernie. But this year came back strong, and the Bernie Mules put together a great season, winning all of their tournaments they played in, besides, of course, the state tournament, the state tournament, and winning the Hockham Invitational Tournament, the Bloomfield Christmas Tournament, the Stoddard County Activities Association Tournament, and Caleb Ellenberg had a big deal to do with that from Bernie, and he's been a pleasure to watch, going to be certainly missed by the Bernie Mules going forward, but a great season and great career from Caleb Ellenberg from Bernie. And that wraps up Class 2. Now going to Class 1. Jacob Priggle of Oran, senior of Oran, securing All-State honors from Class 1. Dalton Wilson, senior from Advance, securing All-State honors. And Dalton Wilson had a great year, certainly through the state tournament. Had a big game in the sectional round that we covered that they advanced in Class 1 over Gideon. And he secured All-State honors with his senior campaign this year. And also Demetrius Cornell of South Iron, senior of South Iron, winning All-State honors, and he was also named Class 1 Player of the Year. And South Iron just come up a bit short in the state tournament in the quarterfinal round advance. South Iron, one of the top teams in Class 1 this year, certainly expected to make the Class 1 Final Four in Columbia, just come up a bit short in the quarterfinal round. But Demetrius Cornell, certainly one of the best players you'll come by among the small schools this year. And also, let's go on to the girls All-State teams. In Class 4, the lone player in Class 4 from Southeast Missouri is Melanie McEwen, junior of Dexter. And Melanie McEwen had a great season this year, and she also secured SCAA Conference Player of the Year for this year. And Dexter players have had a run securing that award over the years, and it stays in Dexter once again this year with Melanie McEwen. Only a junior. She comes back for her senior season next year, and certainly will be a talented Dexter team as they only graduated one player, Katie Riker, on the girls basketball team this year. So got a lot coming back for this next season in girls high school basketball in Dexter. And in Class 3, Jacia Morgan of Twin Rivers, the junior from Twin Rivers, winning All-State honors. Lexi Morris, senior of Clearwater. Reagan Weiser, junior of Saxony Lutheran, also from Saxony Lutheran. Junior Brianna Mueller, and senior of Park Hills Central, Sydney Skaggs, securing All-State honors and Player of the Year in Class 3, Sydney Skaggs. And the younger sister, junior Megan Skaggs of Park Hills Central, also securing All-State honors. And what a year it's been in Class 3 this year. As you take a look there, we've got 6 players from Southeast Missouri getting All-State honors this year in the state of Missouri, and certainly it was a great year, especially when you look there at Saxony Lutheran and Park Hills Central. Those two teams probably made up the best teams in the state in Class 3. They happened to meet up in the quarterfinal round where Park Hills Central defeated Saxony Lutheran in overtime by 6 points. And Saxony Lutheran was undefeated at the time, number 1 in the state, and went to the state Final Four last year and come away with 4th place. Certainly looking like the best team in the state this year. And the two best teams just happened to be in that quarterfinal round, but both couldn't make it to the Final Four in Columbia. One had to advance, and it was Park Hills Central securing that overtime victory to advance to the state Final Four in Columbia, where they just ran away with the title. Had no problem at Columbia. I think their average margin of victory for both games was over 30 points, and had no problem. And the Skaggs girls had a big deal to do with that, especially Sydney Skaggs, and they've got Megan Skaggs coming back in next year. So Park Hills Central will be a team to make a run once again, but Saxony Lutheran probably going to be the favorite next year as they didn't graduate anyone. They've only got juniors and freshmen on their team, and the junior class certainly makes up that team. So they'll all be seniors next year, and probably going to be the favorite to probably go undefeated and win that state championship next year. But it'll be fun to watch once again, as probably Park Hills Central and Saxony Lutheran will likely meet up once again. But a very strong year in Class 3 in girls high school basketball this season. Now taking a look at Class 2, Chelsea Petty, junior of Neelyville, securing All-State honors, as Neelyville had a great year as well this year, falling a bit short in the quarterfinal round of Class 2 in that state tournament this year, but a strong year from Neelyville once again. Also from Neelyville, junior Shelby Moon securing All-State honors for Class 2. Now in Class 1 from Naylor, senior Shayna Tharp securing All-State honors, and junior Cabrian Rogers getting All-State for Class 1 as well from Naylor. Naylor come up just a bit short for a state championship bid this year, as Naylor got second place, just come up a bit short in that bid for a state championship this year. And what a great year from Naylor's. They've consistently been good over the years, and they just they bring a good team every year, well-coached team, and come away with second place in the state in girls Class 1 basketball. And I skipped over a few Coach of the Year honors. Frank Staple, Class 2 Coach of the Year for the boys, securing that Coach of the Year honor. Frank Staple from Scott County Central, and he's had a great run there at Scott County Central, of course. Before that, Kenyon Wright had a great run. He moved on, and Frank Staple stepped in, and he's done a great job since. I believe he's won 2 state titles now, this year, last year, and I think his first year, that was 3 years ago, they fell in the quarterfinal round to Eminence, I believe. So he's had 2 state titles since his run started there at Scott County Central. So it's been fun to watch. Certainly Scott County Central over the years, and Frank Staples got a big part of that there at Scott County. And also Coach Mapes from Park Hill Central for the girls, Class 3. Coach Mapes was named Coach of the Year there at Park Hill Central for Class 3. And what a year. They only had one loss on the year, and just running away with that state championship in Class 3 this year. And also we've got all conference honors to recognize from Stoddard County. The Stoddard County all-conference teams for the boys, and first team all-conference, Caleb Ellenberg of Bernie, and also winning player of the year for the SCAA this year. And as I mentioned for the all-state teams, he had a great senior season, great career there at Bernie. So Caleb Ellenberg securing player of the year honors for Stoddard County this season. Also making up the first team all-conference from Bloomfield, Noah Vandiver. And what a talent Noah Vandiver is. Only a sophomore this past season, and one of the best teams in the area, especially in that Stoddard County Conference. And he's got 2 more years left, and it's going to be fun to watch to see what he brings to the court over the next 2 years there in Bloomfield. One of the best young talents in Southeast Missouri is Noah Vandiver. And also from Woodland, Garrett Reynolds. A strong year from Garrett Reynolds this year as he wins or secures first team all-conference honors, and Woodland had a great year. Garrett Reynolds had a big part of that as they fell in the district championship in Class 1 District 2 to Charleston. And Garrett Reynolds, one of the best guards here in Southeast Missouri from Woodland. Also, Dalton Wilson of Advance, as I mentioned before, had a great year in Advance, going all the way to the state Final Four in Columbia as Advance come away with 3rd place in Class 1 this year, and Dalton Wilson had a great season from Advance. And from Puxico, Zach Tucker getting first team all-conference honors from Puxico. Great year by Zach Tucker as well. And Brad Botch of Bernie securing Coach of the Year. And no surprise there as Bernie won the regular season and conference tournament titles. And Brad Botch put together a great year with this Bernie team, as last year they graduated quite a few players, and the injury bug hit them late. They didn't really get to finish their season with the best team on the court from Bernie, as they just had so many things happen to them last year at the end of the year, and come back this year. Had some talent coming back, but probably looking back to last year, not as much talent coming back as last year's team, but they put together a season to remember, winning all of their tournaments, of course, except the state tournament, or the district tournament, excuse me. And Bernie having a great year. I believe they finished 22-6 on the year, I believe, did Bernie. And they've got a great program there, as Brad Potch has been a big part of, just continuing to turn out great teams in the Stoddard County Conference, and winning both titles this year for the regular season and conference tournament championship. So great year and a great season, led once again by Bernie coach Brad Botch. And now taking a look at second team all-conference from the SCAA, Matt Vernon of Bernie. And what a year Matt Vernon had. Just some of the best dribbling that you'll see from any guard throughout Southeast Missouri was from Matt Vernon this year. And just a shifty, effective guard. He stood at about 5'9", and he grew some this year, which made him a lot more effective. And some of the best guard play you saw this year was from Matt Vernon of Bernie. Ethan Flowers of Dexter. Ethan Flowers had a great year, and he was a bit injured as the season got underway, and come back and had a great year. One of the best shooters from the three-point line in the Stoddard County is Ethan Flowers, and he showed it once again this year. And a young talent in Ethan Flowers. I think he's only a junior, so he's going to have a strong year going forward for his senior year. So Ethan Flowers securing first team all-conference from Dexter. And also Jason Jarrell, point guard of the Dexter Bearcats, showed he's one of the most aggressive guards in the conference this year, as he really battled his way through the paint, made a lot of plays going to the basket, and a great dribble penetration guard he is from Dexter, and he showed that throughout this year. And he's only, I think he's only a sophomore, I believe. I think he's only a sophomore, so he's going to have great 2 years ahead of him. Jason Gerald from Dexter. And from Richland, Marcus Grayson. Richland stepped it up this year and had a much better season as they've had in the years past. And Marcus Grayson securing second-team All-Conference this year, and quite a fine player. Marcus Grayson is from Richland. And also Zach Beal of Woodland. Zach Beal transferred from Leopold to Woodland this year, and he was a big part of that team this year. I think he's only a junior. I think he'll come back for next year. So Zach Beal showed he's one of the best players in the conference. Big guy from Woodland, should be coming back and going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward from Woodland. And also honorable mention for the Stoddard County Conference: Cole Nichols of Bell City, Dawson Mayo of Advance, also Preston Webker of Advance, Brandon Sparks of Bernie, Seth Luttrell of Puxico, Tyler Battles of Bloomfield, and Josh Thornton of Richland. And also securing Defensive Player of the Year, Alex Gibbs of Bloomfield. And Alex Gibbs, pretty much do-everything player, all-purpose player for Bloomfield this year. He really aggravated a lot of point guards in the area, or even combo guards from Southeast Missouri this year. Alex Gibbs, also a great passer, good ball handler for the Bloomfield Wildcats, and a great season by Alex Gibbs from Bloomfield as well. And those are your all-conference and all-state teams that we had to mention from this year. And a great season, as we've mentioned all year, and as I've bragged over the past couple roundtables, that it's one of the best years in high school basketball ever, I think, that I've seen here in Southeast Missouri. I know we only come away with one state champion with Scott County Central in Class 2, and you can go back years and find we've had 2-3 state champions from Southeast Missouri. But this year, just the depth of talent that was across Southeast Missouri was second to none, I believe, in the past at least handful of years that I've covered basketball here in Southeast Missouri. And it's been one of the best that we've had in the area. You talk about teams that really lifted their play, teams that have been struggling over the years, really stepped up their game this year, and the teams that have consistently been there was there once again this year. So it made it a whole lot more competitive across Southeast Missouri in high school basketball this season, and I'm going to miss it. And of course, we're going to be showing replays of games throughout the spring and summer, and it'll be fun to watch, to go back and see a lot of these competitive games this year in the 2014-2015 season here in high school basketball. And we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with the final polls for Southeast Missouri high school basketball for boys and girls, and also we're going to take a look at some March Madness as well. Don't go away.
What is your emergency? Need assistance at County Road 61 and Highway 9. Help is on its way.
Clear! There's a better way to jumpstart your soil back to health. Apply Endzone to protect and increase nitrogen efficiency without killing bacteria. Apply Prevent to increase phosphorus availability and reduce fixation. Better yet, use them both to get more from your fertilizer investment and see higher potential yields. Ag Explorer, your prescription for healthy soil.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. With inside access to all 32 teams all year long. NFL Total Access, Monday through Saturday, only on NFL Network.
NFL Network, where football season never ends.
And welcome back, and now we're going to take a look at the final poll for high school basketball from SemoSportsZone.com. This is the top 25 poll for boys basketball this year. Notre Dame going to secure the top rank for Southeast Missouri with a final record of 27-5, winning third place in Class 4 this season. And the second spot, Scott County Central, the Class II state champions, 27-4. And third, New Matter County Central, finishing the year in third place in the state of Missouri in Class 3, 26-5. Fourth, Jackson at 23-7, quarterfinalists once again this year in Class 5. And fifth, Sykeston at 18-9. Sixth, Cape Central at 20-7. 7, Poplar Bluff at 19-6. 8, Charleston at 17-11. 9, Park Hills Central at 23-6. 10, Bernie at 22-6. 11, Woodland. 12, Advance. 13, Valley Catholic. 14, Bloomfield. 15, Malden. 16, Haytie. 17, Southern Reynolds. 18, Gideon. 19, Zenith Hornersville. 20, Scott City. 21, Oran. 22, Neelyville. 23, Farmington. 24, Twin Rivers. And 25, St. Genevieve. And that's the top 25 poll from SemoSportZone.com, the final poll for this season. And taking a look at the girls' top 15 poll from SemoSportZone.com, this is the final poll for the season. And the top ranked, Park Hill Central at 30-1, the Class 3 state champions for this year. And second, Saxony Lutheran at 29-1. Their lone loss came to Park Hill Central in the quarterfinal round in overtime. And a fine year by Saxony Lutheran once again. Third, Neelyville at 22-5, quarterfinalists this year in Class 2. 4, Naylor, 23-7, runner-up in Class 1. 5, Dexter at 17-10, and also sectionalists in Class 4 this year, coming off their 5th straight Class 4 District 1 championship. And 6th, Sykeston, 20-6, their first ever 20-win season, and come up a bit short in the Class 4 District 1 title against Dexter, but a young team going to be coming back with a very competitive team going forward in Sykeston. 7, Twin Rivers at 17-11. 8, Jackson, who were Class 5 District 1 champions and sectionalists in Class 5. 9, Chaffee. 10, Greenville. 11, Charleston. 12, Kelly. 13, Portageville. 14, Oran. And 15, Clearwater, making up the girls' top 15 poll, the final poll for this year in girls basketball. And that'll pretty much put a wrap on this year of high school basketball. And what a great year it was. And we'll be looking forward to another great year next year as we make the full transition to spring sports for the rest of the way going through May of this school year. And now we're going to take a look at some March Madness, and it's well underway, and we've almost got the Final Four set, and we're going to go over the Sweet 16 games from this weekend. Going back to Thursday night, second-seeded Arizona defeated sixth-seeded Xavier 68-60 in the West region, and they will move on to take on Wisconsin, the top-seeded team in the West, defeating fourth-seeded North Carolina 79-72. So the top two seeds in that Western Regional will take place tonight in the Elite Eight. Arizona versus Wisconsin. It's going to be a good one to watch in that regional final of the West Regional. And also from Thursday, top-seeded Kentucky just rolled over fifth-seeded West Virginia 78-39. And what a rollover that was for the top-seeded Kentucky Wildcats. They'll take on third-seeded Notre Dame, who defeated, that was seventh-seeded Wichita State 81-70, as Notre Dame will advance on to take on Kentucky in that Midwestern Regional Final that will take place today. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, last night's games in the East region, it was 7th-seeded Michigan State defeating 3rd-seeded Oklahoma 62-58. Michigan State shouldn't be any surprise with a Tom Izzo-led team making a run as they're making in this tournament as a 7th seed. They're going to go to the regional finals in the East region. And Michigan State will take on 4th-seeded Louisville 75, or as they defeated NC State, the 8th seed, 75-65. NC State defeated the top seed of Villanova in this region, and Louisville going to advance on to the regional final. They were national champions just 2 years ago and find themselves in the regional final, taking on 7th seed Michigan State. So you don't see that very often, a 4th seed taking on a 7th seed in the regional final, and that will be the case in the East region for the regional final in the Elite Eight. The winner advances on to the Final Four in Indianapolis. And also from last night, top-seeded Duke defeated 5th-seeded Utah in the South region, 63-57. Close game there, but the Duke Blue Devils advance, and they will take on 2nd-seeded Gonzaga, who defeated 11th-seeded UCLA 74-62. UCLA made a great run, getting 2 early victories in the tournament as an 11th seed in the Sweet 16. A great run, but Gonzaga pulls out the victory, advancing to the Elite Eight in the regional final, the South regional final, as they will take on top-seeded Duke. And what a great matchup that'll be. Gonzaga's always come up a bit short. They've had great teams. And this year's team, quite good. I think they finished the year probably in the top 8 in the country ranking. And they've got a 2nd seed in this South region. And they'll take on top-seeded Duke. Going to be a tough matchup for them, but the analysts say that this is one of the toughest Gonzaga teams that there has been. Just very well balanced from guard play to their big guys, and should be a great game between them and Duke. And Gonzaga is one of those top teams that have never really made it through to that Final Four. Playing in that West Coast Conference out there on the West Coast, they beat up on those teams. They're probably on par with like a Pac-12 school. They're on the West Coast, but they play in that West Coast Conference and always run through that conference for the most part and play very competitive on the national level. They just haven't really broken through to get to that Final Four, and it could be this year. And it would be an upset if they were to knock off Duke, as Duke is expected to make the title game. And everyone, all the analysts and fans have always looked forward to a Kentucky-Duke final for this year, and we'll see what happens, but that'll match up Duke and Gonzaga in that regional final. And again, as I mentioned earlier today, which is Saturday at 5:09 on TBS, will be the regional final, the West regional final. Top seeded Wisconsin taking on 2nd seeded Arizona. That's at 5:09 on TBS. And on TBS tonight at 7:49, following that game, is the Midwest Regional Championship. That's top-seeded Kentucky taking on 3rd-seeded Notre Dame. And Kentucky looking for that perfect season. And they're 37-0, looking for 40-0. And it starts their next game with Notre Dame this evening. And Sunday afternoon in the other regional finals, 7th-seeded Michigan State takes on 4th-seeded Louisville in the East Regional Final at 1:20 on CBS, and following that game on CBS at 4:05 is top-seeded Duke taking on 2nd-seeded Gonzaga in the South Regional Final. And some great games slated for Saturday and Sunday this weekend, and after this weekend we'll have the Final Four set for Indianapolis next Saturday. Next Saturday are the national semifinals, with the national championship on the following Monday night. So we'll be looking forward to of course, the Final Four and, of course, the regional championships taking place this weekend. So March Madness is starting to climax to its finest point here in the Sweet 16, now Elite Eight, and, of course, the Final Four for next week. So we'll be looking forward to how that develops going forward. And that's pretty much all we got for your roundtable for today, and we appreciate you for tuning in as always. Look forward to see you right back here with us next week. And until then, I'm Tyler Wagner. Have yourself a great week. Take care, everyone.